Hi everyone, welcome to Bible Reading with Ariel. Today we are reading Proverbs chapter 25. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Do not pour forth yourself in the presence of the king, and do not stand in the place of great men. For better it is that it be said to you, "Come up here," than that you should be put lower in the presence of the prince, whom your eyes have seen. Do not go forth hastily to strive, lest you do not know what to do in the end. When your neighbor has put you to shame, debate your cause with your neighbor himself, and do not discover a secret to another, lest he that hears it put you to shame, and your infamy does not go away. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Whoever boasts himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaks the bone. Have you found honey? Eat so much that is sufficient for you, lest you be filled with it and vomit. Withdraw your foot from your neighbor's house, lest he be weary of you and so hate you. A man that bears false witness against his neighbor is a mole and a sword and a sharp arrow. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. As he that takes away a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon soda, so is he that sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For you shall heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward you. The north wind drives away rain, so does an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman with a wide house. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. It is not good to eat much honey, so for men to search their own glory is not glory. He that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. I'm going to go back and reread a couple of verses that really stuck out to me. So the first one is verse 14. It says, "Whoever boasts himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain." Now, when I first thought of this, and I was thinking on the second part of the clouds and wind without rain, I just thought, like, why? It's like the way I feel about winter, the only reason for cold is for snow. Personally, my ideal world would have snow days and 80-degree days, none of the in-between stuff. That's just me. But really, think about a day that's cloudy and windy. It's dreary, it's annoying, the air is dry. I'm sure there's, better words to describe to get the point across that Solomon was trying to get across. But, someone who lies about giving and then acts like they're, the best thing since sliced bread is frankly an annoying person. And they kind of just look ridiculous. And, then again, it could also be, saying here that, the clouds withholding the rain something that's good for the earth, as if the cloud is saying, here I am, here's my rain, but you don't get it. I'm just going to be up here purposefully withholding it from you and, making you think that there's good where there isn't. So that's the comparison that I think of, in regards to, we have something good to give, but we're choosing not to, or we're lying about what we're doing. I believe both can apply for this one. So I also want to look at 16. It says, have you found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for you, lest you be filled with it and vomit. Kind of a gross depiction in my mind here. But, we've all done this, maybe not to the point of, the vomiting. Although, I can see it happening if you're eating just honey. And, we just don't have the stomachs of a bear. We can't eat honey all day. But, certainly getting an upset stomach, this is gluttonous. It's, it's a pretty disgusting visual of sin and consequences. And then 24, I want to look at also. It says, it is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Now, for all the ladies out there, something to keep in mind. This is very important. This is, not the first time that this is in the Proverbs. In various places, it's talking about a contentious woman, a woman who is always angry, who is nagging, who is looking for things to argue about, or, is just quick to argue. This is a woman that has no peace. It's saying here that you could have a whole house, but it's better to be in one little corner of it than to be around someone like that. And, as a woman, I always find these parts very important, and I, really stop and I think and I consider, am I that person? If there's any bit of me that is, I try to change that, because I don't want someone looking at me and, thinking, oh, I don't want to even be around that person. So something to keep in mind. And then I'll end with verse 28. It says, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. And I like how this ends, because it's very specific regarding self-control, which is so important to be able to, master that within ourselves. So I'll leave it there and leave it for you to ponder and take before the Lord. And I hope you got something good from today. See you next time.